Hello, everyone. This is Joe Rapisarda coming to you from the Rap Report. It's been a while. Today I checked my YouTube channel and I realized that it had been about a month since I recorded some new content on the Rap Report. I've been trying to create a lot of content. It's just, I splice it up and I dice it up between a few different channels. Bitcoin education being on adoption. The financial newsletter that I run right now, that being the Nonconformist. So if you want to subscribe to our financial newsletter, check out the nonconformist.io/subscribe. And then a few other various projects. So I decided to just make it a little bit easier and consolidate adoption down into the Rap Report. So I'll have an adoption playlist where I teach Bitcoin education, probably have some other online privacy playlists. I'll talk my just random rants about crypto or other topics I'm researching because it's not just Bitcoin. I do have an appreciation for nature, biology, mycology, and a lot of other types of study areas. So I'll rant on about those. But I figured I'd come on because I had the opportunity to be recorded by an organization called the MBA Cohort this past Saturday from UConn. And it was quite an enjoyable conversation. I had the opportunity to just talk about Bitcoin and what's going on around the world and what's going on with the global economy and currencies. And, I really enjoyed having kind of a fresh discussion again with someone. During COVID-19, obviously, we see lockdown has been very difficult. But for me, I haven't really interacted with many new people. So I haven't really had the opportunity to share as much Bitcoin knowledge as I can, even though my wife cares quite a bit of it. So check out that video, though. I'm going to leave a link in the description. Definitely a great opportunity. Christina's a great person. I've done trivia with these folks. So give them a follow. Also, it's Connecticut pride. Have pride in where we come from. All of us CT people, right? We need to have a little bit more pride in where we come from. So these are state-run organizations. These are startups in Connecticut. I'm an entrepreneur myself here in Connecticut. So I try to promote within because we have to focus on growth within and helping each other, or else we're not going to get anywhere. So just saying. But I figured I'd give a quick update on where things have kind of come since even the first time that I recorded on the Rap Report, which was March 20th. I had been recording a lot of the economic and cryptocurrency content since last September on the Nonconformist. So, you'll find me on two channels from now on, like this one, the Rap Report, and then the Nonconformist. So check out both of them. But March 20th was the last time that I spoke to you folks through this network. I'm not going to have my screen shared at this moment, but I figured I would just quickly give some updates. So one of the worst things and the best things about economics that you learn very quickly, and especially when it comes to the financial markets and the markets in general, sorry, I'm a little parched. Markets meaning any market. So, the grain market, the oil market, the financial market, the technology market, markets themselves. When you actually take the time to just understand that markets don't just give you an immediate snapshot of what the economy is doing, but they also are indicating that something is going on. They paint a picture, if you will. They tell a story. So those of us that have an appreciation, especially in the School of Austrian Economics, um, oftentimes talk about the markets being indicators of what's to come. And you can't prepare for it, so you try to. But what's happened since? So last time we talked, or at least on March 20th when we first recorded this, the Dow was down. Oh, of course, it's going to tell me this. Okay, so the Dow was down to around 18,565, and ironically on March 20th. So I kind of caught the bottom during that conversation that we had, because if you look since, as it goes through to May and then into June, we've had the rebound that we've seen over the last 2 months. So last time we had that conversation, though, we came off that really significant drop from the top there, which was one of the largest drops, I believe, since the Great Depression. But we've bounced back. Why has that happened? How many of you are still unemployed? I'm sure a lot of you are going to answer yes. So I don't know about how your thought of how society runs, but the truth is, until we get employment back, we're going to all assume that the economy, the true economy, is not being it's not being represented in the charts, right? It's not being represented in the charts. This is all a mirage. What we do know has happened since is there's been a large uh, a large beginning of inflation by the Fed. So the Fed has stepped in and has uh, turned on the printing presses, is the term you hear all the time. When you hear turn on the printing presses or the Fed prints money, what you're really hearing is that the Fed has the ability to create money out of thin air. This sounds like a magic trick, but in the type of banking system that we have today, banks have the ability to make money. They have the ability to make money through issuing debt, because debt equals money, and that's the truth. That's how it works. And it hasn't always worked like that, but that's how it works right now. So the Fed has stepped in and they've bailed us all out. If you've noticed, there's increases of $600 in your paychecks. There's also increases in the PPP loans and the small business association, small businesses. Some have benefited, some have not. We've seen everyone has gotten money. There's been an increase in unemployment checks, federal $600 kicker. There has been money to everyone. So everyone has gotten bailed out this time. That is what has kind of driven this kind of artificial boom that you see here. Because with that, companies all of a sudden have more, like, oh, here's $3 million for free. They have more money on their hands. So, those that speculate. We also know as well that Robinhood trading has been at an all-time high. This is a tweet from Zero Hedge. Today's date is July 7th, 2020. And they say, here's a chart. This is representing the Tesla stock price in the purple. And then the green is representing the amount of Robinhood users holding that stock. And you see that they are completely aligned and growing together. So that indicates that all of the buying that's happening, or the price increase from Tesla stock, is being traded on Robinhood app. And who uses Robinhood app? That is people like you and I, what are considered Main Street investors, or inside the actual industry known as dumb money, because dumb money comes in when smart money gets out. The truth behind it is that most pension funds and large investors, such as Warren Buffett, Paul Tudor Jones, Ray Dalio, all of these people, and many of them around the world, have pulled out about 2 months ago, 3 months ago, when coronavirus was starting to hit. And at that time, because everyone's now getting paid free money by the government in our PPP loans and in our unemployment checks, we have more money. We're buying up stocks and stuff, and this is being driven by millennials too. So these are my people right here, my millennials. And you know what? Let's run it up. So run it up. But understand that you could probably take a little bit of that and put it into some Bitcoin. This could be the transition of wealth. Millennials take charge. So that's happened. So again, we bounced back. We'll see what happens going forward. There's an old saying, don't fight the Fed. What they mean by that is that, you can't fight the powers to be. And if you control the system and you inflate the currency, what does it matter anyways, right? So that's kind of where that saying comes from. Next in line here is Bitcoin's price. So during the same time period, Bitcoin also bottomed out at around $3,800. And I was on the line with my boy Jack K. Dude, called it perfectly right at the bottom at like 10 o'clock at night, or like 1 o'clock in the morning, actually. Bounced back up, but you'll notice we're sitting around $9,200 right now, uh, up 171% since the last time we talked. So if you were buying then, if you listened to me and bought then, right, you'd be up 171%. If you listened to me and bought the Dow, which a lot of you on Robinhood did, you would only be up 33%. Yeah, so you would have listened. So if you were buying back then, you would have only made 33% in the Dow. But if you had listened to me and bought Bitcoin, you would have made 171%, right? So, so you can head over to the nonconformist.io/subscription and get our monthly newsletter where I share insights. We document it. We give you a nice PDF. We give some crypto indicators, some trade signals. We'll give you precious metals reports, gold reports, and teach you a lot of different stuff. So we do the learning for you, and then you get the luxury of being able to just read it. So you can check that out. That's about really it. You know, listen, it's been since March, right? It's been since March. So we all know kind of where we are right now. We all know where we are as a society. We all know where we are within ourselves. We all know how we feel about ourselves. We all know how we feel about others. We all have to understand, though, that everyone is also going through a similar time, at least economically. And I know that oppression does run deep within certain communities, and it's run deep from the Black community from the start. We can't fucking hide that shit anymore. I mean, it's totally fucking true. So, but we need to understand that that where the wealth gap is too, we know that the enemy doesn't really exist down below in the streets. The enemy exists at those that control the top, right? So we know that the top 0.001% of the 0.01% owns the same as the rest of us in money. So everyone is hurting. Let's focus as well on focusing on the next financial system, that being digital currencies, Bitcoin, Monero, and privacy currencies, those that empower us. Because if we focus on that as well at the same time as solving the social issues and doing what's right for people and humanity in general, the next economy that we come away from is going to be set up and structured much, much better. And it will benefit all of us. It'll benefit every single one of us, at least from the financial system. So that's kind of my word. It's been tearing me up to kind of watch this play out over the last 3 months. If you've been listening since last September, you'll kind of see that you would have benefited if you had done what we were saying last September again. But as well, some of the things, some played out, some didn't. This is why we record. The Nonconformist started as a vlog that we were going to save internally. We had been creating slide decks since spring 2019, documenting what was going on in the economy to begin what I hoped in the future would become some type of history project, possibly documenting this time in history. So it's been a pleasure to be able to open it up to everyone else. This has been kind of a step for me to overcome on doing recordings and sharing. But it's something that you got to do. If you have a passion in something, if you spend time and actually research something, you need to share that knowledge with other people, because what was it all for at the end of the day? Right? Ultimately, you and I are going to leave this world. Everyone's going to leave this world. Death is something that no one can stop, but preserving the knowledge is fundamental, and it's everlasting. And if you preserve the right knowledge too in history, it becomes powerful. So thank you so much for letting me share this experience with you guys. Again, if you want to subscribe to our financial newsletter, you can go to the nonconformist.io/subscribe. Or you could find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, social media, YouTube, until YouTube censors us, but we're on Library and also BitChute. And then I'll also be now posting Bitcoin adoption videos in here, teaching about Bitcoin. I'll be teaching about Monero, teaching privacy stuff. You'll see me talking some mushrooms. You'll see me talking some healthy alternative living, probably some hiking stuff. So anyways, everyone, good seeing you. Take care.